this movie is full of really well-constructed metaphors. Just as a quick detour, did you pick up on the thing about the noodles? Because I didn't on my first watch, and then I kind of looked it up after the second one, and it's fascinating. It's almost my favorite metaphor in all of fiction now.
Yeah, I actually didn't pick it up when I first watched it, but I did read about it as well. And are you referring to the fact that the noodles is a dish that both the rich and the poor eat, but for the mother to kind of distinguish herself from the poor, she added the steak to it to make it a little bit more luxury.
I don't think that I'm talking about that about the noodles, but I don't think that is what's happening. So it's called ramdon in this, and that's not the proper name. That dish has a different name in Korea. But what it's basically is taking two very popular types of instant noodles, and you kind of make a stir fry with them. The noodles are the cheapest of the cheap, right? This is like student food, right? Like you can make like a bowl of this dish for no money at all. So the parks are coming back from the camping trip, and they're 8 minutes away, right? And so they call ahead and ask Mrs. Kim to make them this dish because it's easy to make and quick to make. But they also have some sirloin steak in the fridge, so can she just throw that in? Now, it's not about snobbery. It's not about making it special. I think it's the exact opposite, because in the subtitles, this is referred to as sirloin steak, but if you dig into it a little bit, this is actually high-end, fancy Korean beef. Like if you've heard of Wagyu beef, which is Japanese, which is one of the most expensive types of beef you can get, this is fancier. They have essentially the most elite and expensive and exclusive food you can possibly have in Korea. They have it lying in their fridge, and they are throwing it in with these cheap instant noodles because the kid likes it. And then the kid doesn't even eat it, and then Mrs. Park eats it casually. There's probably $100 of beef in there or something like that. And she just casually eats some of it and then kind of puts it away, not acknowledging the value of the food and not acknowledging the work that went into it. Actually, it doesn't even register what it took to make this. And on top of that, you have the contrast between the extremely cheap ingredients and the very extremely expensive ingredients kind of just thrown in there with no distinction made. That is kind of what's going on with this noodle dish. So it's like this complete juxtaposition of money and value and how oblivious the rich family is to it. And then on top of that, also, the work that went into making it, because somebody else made it for them, of course, right? So it's just a pitch perfect metaphor, right, for the entire movie, right? Because it is not just about inequality. It is not just about being exploited. Like, nobody's being exploited here exactly, right? Like, they're not very nice about it, asking the housekeeper to make the dish, right? But it's kind of still her job. Right? So like they're not complete, like they're rude about it and they're entitled about it, but they're not out of line in terms of what they're asking. They're just completely oblivious about what goes into it. So that's kind of why this works as a metaphor, and that is why I think it's like a microcosm of the entire movie.
I would say that explanation works a lot better than what I'd read and what I'd seen online, to be fair.
People have a tendency to kind of run with this stuff in this movie, and a lot of the time they're kind of projecting their own thing into it. But I think what this movie is actually saying about how kind of wealth kind of twists your perception of things and how the world just looks completely differently based on whether or not you have money, that's much more interesting than just rich people bad.